Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Today we have a game on Death Valley. That really crazy map that's divided into two different maps and has the assimilators that can block your paths. We have Light going up against Stork. Need I say anything else? Light versus Stork on a normal map, I'd be like, yeah, let's watch that. That's sick. And then you put it on Death Valley, which has been a very, very fun map so far. And I just absolutely love it. So yeah, hope that this is going to live up to the hype. And there we go. I hope you didn't see that. And yeah, Death Valley has just been very cool for this matchup. In fact, the only matchup I don't like watching here is Terran vs. Zerg. Terran vs. Zerg has been very bad, very one-sided here, and then every other matchup has been super cool. So let's just reveal the map for a minute just to give you a reminder. So here's your base. It's gigantic minerals, 48 minerals here. You have to mine 6 times to get out and take this base, or you can just take this base normally. If you kill these assimilators, it closes the path. Nothing gets through. Kill one, it closes off all mech units and dragoons. Talking specifically about this matchup. You know, it's a size thing. Kill both, it's completely locked, except for ghosts. Not that we see that. And yeah, then this side of the map, notice this, there's no way over. And there is this one extra base. So very, very cool map, very different map. You know, it's something that I definitely vetoed very quickly, but have enjoyed playing Terran vs. Protoss practice games on. I've enjoyed watching Protoss vs. Zerg here quite a bit in ASL. I've enjoyed watching Protoss vs. Terran here the few times that we've seen it. Yeah, it's been very fun. So cheers to ASL for putting out a crazy map that's actually all right. Because a lot of these other maps, you look at Inner Coven, Sparkle. Well, those are the first two that come to mind. And the games, you're just like, what? I guess 76 was kind of cool. A lot of people remember some of the insane games we saw in 76 that were neat. In fact, a lot of them played by Light specifically. So anyways, we'll see how this one goes down. Light just going up here to scout. He did get a very fast gas and barracks. I just saw kind of out of the corner of my eyes. I was explaining the map, but no biggie there. It's a 2-player map. Sometimes you make stuff quicker to try to prevent theft. The gas steal. So SCV just running around. Stork trying to catch it now with 2 probes. I don't know if that's his old man fingers accidentally grabbing that, or if maybe he thought getting the extra damage would be good. Not entirely sure. Stork is the oldest player that still gets into ASL. For anyone wondering about that. Oldest in term of age, but also oldest in term of peak. Yeah, I've mentioned a lot of times, if you didn't peak in 2007 or later, you can't make it in ASL anymore. We had very few players that made it in previously that had peaked before then. Nada, Busan, Piano. Can't think of anyone else. Anyways, we have right now Light trying to hold on with very, very little. His micro has been pretty insane. That is, he should not have been able to do that. That was crazy. Now he loses the goon for that. Okay, well that was crazy. That was actually so well done. But yeah, anyways, big props to Stork for being the old man that can still do it. The thing is, he's not that much older than everyone else. But yeah, it is. He is. He has that distinction. Okay, so Light has expanded down here very quickly. Not a huge surprise. I like the idea of expanding here and then expanding back there. But yeah, Robo on the way. This is actually really, really smart to get your assimilator down. And in fact, on the Protoss side, one thing we've seen repeatedly, as Protoss, if you gain control of this area, you should kill one geyser for Terran. The Terrans have been very stupid not killed the second one. There's no reason to leave one geyser. If you have one gone, you should just close both. Because we've actually seen Terrans die to mass Zealot coming in this side while Protoss is attacking over here. Because Zealots still fit through if you kill one. All mech units don't. So it's like, what? Do you need SCVs to be able to walk out here? I don't see why. Just close it off. Don't know if we'll get into a game like that. But just amusing. Something that I've seen for sure. So, one fact starport. This is a very, very late starport. This is a very strange build that we're looking at. But starport is strong in this map. There's a great tank drop location here. Obviously, the main is huge, so there's a lot of surface area that you can try to drop off on and not be seen. You can see Stork is doing a good job of spreading his pylons to actually see this. A couple mines going down. He's going to pressure. This pylon is up here to watch for any movement of like siege tanks to siege the Nexus. I actually think it's a really good move, but he's actually going speed, which pairs up with the starport a bit better. So some heavy pressure going down. There is the observer. I am surprised that Light is doing this. I'm really surprised. This is such a strange choice strategically, I feel like. It was a one factory, two tank pressure, which isn't in and of itself weird, but doing that with your expansion and then going starport quickly. It's just the odds of getting the dropship across without your opponent knowing about it seem very low to me. Like, normally if you do a build like this, the starport is hidden somewhere on the map. Like, a lot of people would put the starport over here to do this build. And then it would actually be like, oh yes, I know this build. This is meta, like, well, it's not meta, but it's like, it's a build that exists. People do it. It kind of makes sense because you've hidden the starport and you're putting pressure on and all that makes sense. But like, look, he just started the dropship and the observer sees the starport blinking. What are the odds that this drop does anything? I think it's very low. So a single vulture up here. He did get that speed upgrade and goes after the probes. Gets a couple. Looks like a Reaver follow up here from Stork. Second factory from Light coming down. Armory as well as Academy. Seems like seeing the observer, he knows that he doesn't necessarily need missile turrets. Siege mode on the way. Kind of an interesting location for an SCV up here. Maybe just spotting an incoming shuttle because that is the most likely angle. And the Reaver is out. Shuttle speed coming up here for Stork as well. This is kind of cute, the SCV blocking the probe, trying to drag the SCV back into Dragoon fire range. I like it. Vultures come up to try to mess with this. And they actually will be very annoying. Now, oh. So he canceled the drop and made a Wraith. I'm like so scared right now that I missed the vulture drop somewhere, but I don't think that's the case. Yeah. He canceled the drop and made a Wraith. So yeah, see, isn't this weird? Am I wrong here? I'm like, it's just the starport was so late and not hidden. And then it's like, obviously the observer sees what you're doing, and so you make a single Wraith. And the thing is, the surface area is so big, it's actually kind of hard to intercept the shuttle with the Wraith. If you go Wraith as an anti-shuttle precaution, you need things like mines on the sides to see where the shuttle's coming in. Because if the Wraith is here, let's see the dropship, the shuttle comes in, and you see it and it's over here, or you see it and it's already dropped here. The Wraith is so late against that, it's not actually better than missile turrets at that point. It's, if you can intercept as it's coming in, it's way superior. But if it's like, if you do it reactionary, you know, it's not as good. So yeah, anyways, I don't know. I feel like this is a very strange timing on everything here from Light. He is making a secondary Wraith. So maybe he, you know, it's okay if you just want to go Wraiths as your anti-air. I think on a map like this, something like that could make sense. Okay, so the double Wraith right here will definitely help. Stork picks that off very quickly with the Reavers. Gotta split out these SCVs quickly. All right, goes after the very hurt Reaver. Is still getting some okay damage. Ooh, yeah. Really not that bad. In the meantime, some Vultures do hit up here as well. Stargate on the way? Okay, so Stargate plus Templar Archives same time. So maybe Arbiter from Stork? This is a weird looking game. I'm sorry, I'm thrown off this game. They both actually dealt some pretty reasonable damage to each other's economy. Being 11 minutes in and both players like at sub 50 workers, or well, just right at 50, that is pretty low. That is pretty low. Generally, you'd be up in the 60s. So Stork just kind of clearing out some mines on this side. You know, laying mines around with his missile turrets. He's only on 4 factories still, which is a little bit low, especially on 3 base. He's playing a very turtled position, as you can see. A lot of mines and everything. Sieges up a single tank over here. Stork might be coming up to, like, kill this off, because then he can take this base, and you can see there's a mine there. So, like, yeah, Stork is definitely wanting to take that base now. And like I said before, if you kill off one of these, then Terran can't attack you through. They have to use drop play. It's a little bit messy from Stork. Yeah, a little bit messy. This is a lot of Dragoons sacrifice for this. Oh my god, he missed. Okay. Well, at this point, like I've been saying, kill this. There is zero reason to leave this here. Only Zealots fit. That's the only thing that can happen here is bad. So in my opinion, you just kill this off. It's like maybe you look at this and say, well, I want to transfer SCVs there later for a base. Dude, it's so much of a headache. Just take this base if you need another base. You're not going to attack them, that's for sure, but you can be attacked. Okay, so Stork sets up this base in the top right. So he's going up to 4 base right now. His 4 base is kind of slow considering Light has been on 3 base for this long. Light really adding on to his factory count, going up to 8 at the moment. And he does have the 3 add-ons already. You know, the metagame of Terran vs. Protoss has changed a little bit lately. We've definitely seen it reflected in some ASL games, some KCM games, and some games on this channel. Where it's more oftentimes now you're seeing Terran power up on 3 bases really, really hard before taking the 4th. It used to be for a little bit. Like, well, obviously the 5 factory meta was pretty big for a little while. But for a while, it seemed like taking your 4th base more quickly made sense. But right now, it's more about getting a very large army and then taking your 4th base. Like, push plus 4th at the same time, basically. So anyways, Stork is going to dive in here. Kind of light as far as units go. He is going to probably have to lift the command center, I think. Yeah, well, maybe not. Maybe not. He's bringing a lot of tanks up very quickly. The Zealots are almost shaved through. Light taking a little bit of damage on his SCVs during this. Yeah, falling down to 53 SCVs once again. Kind of a messy situation. Stork gonna just try to run back. He does have Arbiters on the way. 1-1 upgrades for Light with 2-1 on the way as well. Plus 2 on the way for Stork. It's still a weird game. Like, the fact that that attack came in and Light is simply counterattacking, and I think he's going to kill him with it. Like, it is 10 gates as well, so... Huh. Kind of a very strange game, I would say. Okay, drops out some High Templars. Okay, gets some okay Storms. It's just his actual unit count is so low at the moment. Wow, that's a really good Storm there to the bottom. But yeah, that's... And gets the... Well, it gets the stasis out. Some of the tanks are being damaged. But just doesn't really have enough units. Light now rallying up a ridiculous amount. Good 12 vultures coming up. Just in the nick of time here before he loses all his siege tanks. I think that's game. That was bizarre. That was a bizarre one. I think pros still are figuring out how to play this map. But that felt like a confused game. And I don't think it was just me being confused. It felt like watching it, I'm like, the Light's build has no real identity here. I understand the way Stork played a little bit more, even though he ended up getting rolled. And I can't say too much negative about Light, because obviously he just like rolled through Stork like really hard. But yeah, like overall the build didn't make a lot of sense to me, the way that he played it. But yeah, I guess it ended up working. You know, Stork is very, very close to dead here. He's almost mined out on these two bases. This one's very healthy. You know, has an Arbiter out on the map. I don't know if he even has recall, but he's like over a minute away from having enough energy, even if he does. And he doesn't really have an army to recall either. So I don't foresee that being the next big thing he's going to do. He's trying to clear this area. Okay, he leaves this Arbiter over here. So in the next minute or so, we should see a recall come off. You know, fair enough, I guess. Oh, he gets the MP on this one. Because I was going to say, you could do the recall and then do a secondary recall, which is very, very strong. Okay, it looks like he's just going to shuttle things down. Light might end up catching that. No, it doesn't look like he will. Just kind of withdrawing his army. Left just a very sparse contain here. Kind of one that you can't see into. There's no observer or anything, so you might think that there's a large army there, but there's not. Oh god, he found this. This is the worst angle to try to come out and attack from. Oh, this one's not going to go well. Okay. I think that's got to be game. And he's just about to that recall energy, but the army is going to be just garbage now. Here we go. Well, you know, it's like an okay-ish one. You might... Well, he doesn't actually have any units over here. Getting on top of Terran factories is pretty scary, but I don't think that Stork can, like, even in theory, get enough units out of here to kill this army. So even though this recall is doing way more than I anticipated, like, just having no units at home to stop this... You know what would be funny is if somehow Stork could get rid of those and then play from this side while killing the factories. That would be crazy. That would be so insane, but it seems like Light is going to barely have enough here. And that's going to be that. GG. Okay, a weird one. But always fun to watch Death Valley. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.